Good morning, everyone. This is Jeremy here at ExtremeWeatherTracker.com, updating your tropical weather at 11 a.m. on August the 18th, 2011. The tropic Atlantic remains active, and we have a couple features to talk about today as we are in the peak of the hurricane season. From August 15th to October 15th is when the season really ramps up, so we expect activity to start increasing. We have Invest 93L, still located here south of Jamaica. And we also have Invest 97L that the National Hurricane Center has dubbed this 97L as of this morning here in the central Atlantic. And both of these features are definitely worth watching over the next few days. So let's dive right into this. This is the Tropical Atlantic Floater for 93L, and you can see on the satellite imagery here, definitely have some decent mid-level cyclonic turning here associated with it. And it's been moving at a pretty fast clip to the west, maybe just a little bit north of west over the last few days, and should continue on that general track over the next 36 hours before making landfall somewhere around possibly Belize over the next few days. So this is definitely something that the Central American coastline needs to be aware of. Possibly could bring some heavy rains to northern Belize and possibly eastern coast of Nicaragua here as it makes its closest pass to these guys, possibly brushing the northern coast of Honduras over the next couple of days. And one thing to notice about 93L, it's a very compact system, so if it were to shed this dry air that's been bothering it, and actually try to get its act together, it could intensify fairly rapidly, being that it is a small system. These small systems tend to intensify or weaken rapidly, more rapidly, say, than a large system. So let's dive into the model tracks of 93L. Here's the models for 93L, and this is the dynamical models as well as the statistical models. And as you can see, most of the models take this off in a general west, slightly north of west direction, and most of the models are basically centered here on Belize. Now, a couple of the models are going to bring it brushing the northern coast of Honduras, but most of the models are basically in a fairly good agreement about bringing this into the southern Yucatan Peninsula here. There is a possibility that if it goes a little bit further north, it could end up in the southern Bay of Campeche and possibly reorganize there, but I think the chances of that are slim, as this being a small system, the interaction with land here would probably tear the system apart to the point that it wouldn't be able to reorganize. If it did, it would just affect southern Mexico here. So this is going to be probably more of a rainmaker than anything else for the Central American coastline here. There is a possibility that this could strengthen into a minimal hurricane before making landfall here. That remains to be seen. As I said earlier, sometimes these small systems have a tendency to rapidly intensify, and the waters in this area of the world are very warm. The shear is relatively light, and basically the only thing it's fighting is the dry air to its north, and we'll look at that here shortly. As you can see here on the water vapor imagery, you see this dry air still to the north and west of the system here, so it's still going to have to continually battle this dry air, and it has done a pretty good job of moistening up its environment in this area as it moves to the west-northwest. So 93L is possibly the hurricane hunters are on their way, and it's a possibility that they do find a closed low, and this could be dubbed Harvey later on today or tomorrow if this reaches tropical storm strength. So we'll have a battle between Invest 93L and Invest 97L as to who becomes Harvey and who becomes Irene over the next few days, as these will be the next two names, storm names that the Hurricane Center will classify these storms as. Okay, let's go into 97L, and this is you can see this very broad cyclonic turning here. It's just starting to come into this floater picture here. This is probably not the best imagery that's available out there, but you can see it definitely has a large area of cyclonic turning here. But once again, if we go back to the water vapor loop, you can see this dry air that's out to the north and west of this system. It's actually getting drawn into the circulation, so it's hindering development. But I do suspect that once this system passes about 50 west, as most of these ones have been prone to do. In this area of the world, the water temperatures are a lot warmer, and I believe this could sustain development a lot better. Once it moves past 50 west, I believe we'll see a surprise out of 97L, and we'll see it actually start to want to develop out here. And I also have the model tracks for 97L. These are preliminary models. This is the BAMS models as well as the Clip 5. These models are initiated here. This is about the center of where 97L is located, and you can see the BAMS models are in very, very good agreement out to a certain point here, and that's almost a little unusual at this early stage of the game. But you can see them bringing it on a west-northwest direction, actually missing the Lesser Antilles here to the north, and then basically bringing it just north of Puerto Rico here. And I was looking at all the global models this morning. I actually didn't include those in the blog today, but the GFS, the UK Met, the European, the GGEM, the CMC, most of these models are all in very good agreement, bringing this system just north of the islands, or just through the islands here, and bringing them up into the Bahamas and impacting Florida and the southeast coast of the United States coming up next week, the end of next week. So for all the models to be in fairly good agreement, or very good agreement actually, this early in the game of a system that's not even developed should tell us that we need to be wary, be watchful of this system, as I believe there will be some surprises out of this. And I've got a couple more things to show you. This is the surface map valid for day 7, and this would be basically next Thursday. And you can see the low pressure system here, and I wanted to point out that one of the reasons why I believe this system will not recurve, or will not recurve before it impacts land masses, because you can see this high pressure system. This is the Bermuda Azores High, and you can see it nosing pretty far in to the eastern United States, and then you see the Texas ridge is actually retreated up here toward the Four Corners area, and this is basically leaving this area of the world open for anything that comes into this area to curve into the United States and make an impact on the United States. This is also another area here. You can see this is the GFS and European ensemble of the 500 millibar height anomalies, and you can see on this this is the European side. You see the high pressure system that's nosed into the eastern United States, and you see the Texas high pressure system has basically retreated, like I was saying, and centered over the Four Corners area, and this is basically leaving this weakness here in the heights here to let something that comes farther west move up into, say, east of Florida, west of Florida, somewhere in the central Gulf Coast. So even with 97L, I don't believe that we should discount a possibility of 97L getting into the Gulf. I think that's a remote possibility at this time. I do believe it'll start feeling this weakness a little bit earlier and recurve somewhere around Florida, impacting Florida or perhaps the southeast coast. And switching over here to the right side of the screen, you see the GFS. This is the GFS 500 millibar heights. Same scenario. You have this high pressure system that's retreated over the Four Corners, and then you have this Bermuda Azores high that's basically nosing in fairly far to the west, fairly strong. So anything coming this way would basically have to fill a weakness somewhere along the central Gulf Coast or the eastern coast of the United States, and that would actually steer the system and possibly make a landfall in the United States. This is the pattern that I've been talking about for the past few videos here, when we have this blocking up here to the north over Canada, and these highs, one of them's building in strongly from the east to west, and the other was backing off a little bit, giving Texas a little bit of break. We definitely need to keep an eye on this area of the world and the Gulf of Mexico coming up, because this door is opening for potential landfall in the United States. And given the fact that the sea surface temperatures are very warm in this area, the tropical cyclone heat potential is very great in this area. We definitely need to keep an eye out for anything that would come our way, because it could be an intense system given the conditions are right. So once again, Invest 93L, we're watching for Harvey, Invest 97L, we're watching for possibly Harvey, possibly Irene, depending on what this little critter does here. So we'll be keeping an eye on these the next couple of days, and I'll be updating you as conditions change. The hurricane hunters are currently investigating, so we'll maybe have an update this afternoon to see what they find. And once again, this is Jeremy here at ExtremeWeatherTracker.com. Hope you guys all have a great day, and I'll see you again soon.